Hi everyone, I'm here today with a first impressions on a new foundation. This is the Buxom Show Some Skin Weightless Foundation. It's semi-new to Sephora, and this has light to medium coverage, broad spectrum SPF 30. And the shade I got is Dim the Light. They had quite a few different shade ranges. They had like a light, a medium, and a dark. And I think this shade was like towards the darker end of the light foundations. And it was, let me tell you how much this was. $34, and it has 1.5 fluid ounces, so it's a little bit more than your traditional 1 fluid ounce foundation. It says that it hydrates, it's long wearing, brightens, smooths for skin that looks as good as it feels, is what it claims to do. It says a foundation so weightless it's like wearing nothing at all. The skin pampering formula delivers breathable coverage and is clinically proven to increase hydration, brighten and smooth skin while softening the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Formulated with vitamin C, tamarind seed, and marine algae extracts to deliver a weightless, breathable texture that seamlessly melts into the skin and lasts up to 8 hours. So it says use a pearl size amount of the moisturized, smooth, glowing complexion so irresistibly seductive you can't help but show it off. Well, I didn't read the pearl size amount. I definitely used more than a pearl size amount. I think if you were to use a very, very small amount, you'd get a very, very light coverage. It does say it's light to medium coverage, so I did do one layer and then did a second layer to kind of build it up, and I do really like the way that it looks. This color might be a little bit light for me as far as when I'm self-tanning, but I was able to warm it up with some bronzer. So again, this is Dim the Light, and let me show you what the packaging looks like. It is just a squeezy tube, and I like that you can see the color of the foundation here. They do have a ton of all the testers and stuff at Sephora. So if you want to see how this applies and how it wears throughout the day, then just stay tuned. Okay, so the shade I got was Show Some Skin Dim the Light. And this is supposed to be a weightless foundation, light to medium coverage, SPF 30. It's supposed to hydrate and brighten, smooth, and be long wearing. So we're gonna just see how well this works. And it comes in a nice little tube like this. I think it's 1.5 fluid ounces. So I'm going to shake it up a little bit, and I'm going to, let's see here. So it's a bit of a creamier foundation. It's not super liquidy like an Urban Decay Naked foundation, but not quite as thick as like Revlon Color Stay Whipped. So I hope this is a good shade match. I'm just going to use what brush do I want to use? This is a stippling brush from Precision Beauty. I got it off Hautelook, so we're gonna try that out. And I'm just gonna start by stippling it on, and then we'll start blending it in. So the coverage so far is pretty light, very light coverage. But it seems to blend really easily. Like as I'm looking at it, it doesn't look like I have any foundation on my face. It's very, very like light coverage, blends really nice so far. So I took that huge glob and just used that on one side of my face. So I do have a few little like blemishes right here that didn't really cover up too much. Compared to this side, I do see that it has evened out my skin tone a little bit. Didn't really quite cover these up. So I quickly just changed my camera battery, and so it's set for a few seconds, and so far I like it. It looks very natural on the skin. I don't feel like it looks like I'm really wearing any makeup. It did kind of cover up some of these blemishes, so I'm going to go in with just a tiny bit more and see what a second layer will do on just some of these areas that need it built up a little bit more. Now this color is quite light compared to like my self-tanner, so I'll just have to bronze it up a little bit. So you might want to go get shade match, because I thought I shade matched myself, but I obviously picked a color that was way too light. And again, this is in the color Dim the Light. I'm excited to see how this holds up throughout the day because I think those of you who don't like a heavy foundation in the summertime, if it holds up nicely, I think you'll really love it because it does have a very natural skin finish. It's not heavy or cakey looking at all. It doesn't even really look like I'm wearing makeup. It kind of looks like I'm just wearing like my Origins Vitazing moisturizer that has like that little tint release in it. So I really, really like the finish. It gives a nice kind of semi, I don't know, not quite dewy, but not quite sand. So kind of right there in the middle. It's not a real dewy foundation, but it looks really natural and glowy and healthy. So I really, really like this. Okay, so it is currently, what time is it? 9:21. So I'm gonna go about finishing my makeup. I'm gonna film a tutorial for my makeup and then I will check in after my makeup's done and throughout the day and we'll see how it holds up. Okay, so I have finished basically all my makeup except for putting my lips on. And I love the way the foundation looks. I love the way it wears. It's very like natural looking. It doesn't look like I have a ton of foundation on. I've had it on for almost an hour now. The only thing I notice is it does kind of settle into some fine lines. So like when I make any expressions or anything or smile, I get these little lines right here and I see it kind of settling into those a little bit. So I'm going to take my brush and just kind of brush that out a little bit. So we shall see like through the day if it continues to kind of settle into those lines or if, you know, maybe I just put a little bit too much foundation there or something. So I will check in with you guys in a little bit. I'm here for a check-in. It is 4:24. So what time did I put this on? 9 something this morning. So it's been on for quite a while. And let's see, almost 6 hours it's been on. And it is a little shiny. Like I'm sure you can see the reflection in the viewfinder. You can see the light reflecting off of my forehead, right here in my T-zone and along my chin. But it's shiny, but it's not worn off. So far it's been quite long wearing because none of it has faded, none of it is blotchy. My blemishes are still covered, but it's just a little bit shiny and shiny, oily looking. So I'm going to just take my dual fiber brush. I don't have any other product. I'm not going to go out in public with a super shiny face like this. So I'm just going to dab down this area. I'm not putting any extra product. It's just whatever powder was on here before. And I'm just going to kind of blot that area. And I think that it is holding up really nicely, actually. I'm quite impressed. I don't feel like there's a lot of product on my face. I don't feel like I have thick, cakey foundation on. So far, I'm really liking it. It is a very nice, natural skin look. So my skin still does peek through. I mean, I can still see my little freckles here on my nose. But it covered up my blemishes nicely. So it does a good job of kind of concealing those blemishes, not a full coverage, but still lets your skin shine through, which I really like. I've eaten today, I've drank, I don't have any wearing, none of the foundation is wearing off around my nose or around my mouth. I don't really find it settling into any fine lines or anything. It hasn't really budged from this area from earlier in the video. So I'm super impressed with it so far. So I will probably do one more check-in tonight and see how it's holding up. But so far, 6 hours in, we're pretty good. So I will check in one more time in just a little bit. Back with another check-in, and I've had this foundation on for almost 9 hours or maybe a little over 9 hours. It's now 7:05 and this foundation said 8-hour wear. So I'm 9 hours in. I have a little bit of shine peeking through again, not so much on the chin, but a little bit right in here. And a little bit right here on my forehead. In the last update, I took my powder brush with no product on it and just kind of like absorbed some of that oil. And it was fine for about another hour, and then, you know, it kind of started peeking through a little bit. But as far as the foundation goes, it's still covered up these blemishes right here. They're just now starting to peek through. I'm getting a little tiny bit of foundation kind of coming off around my nose. And I'm just a little bit blotchy up here on the forehead, if you can see that, like my bronzer kind of is wearing off a little bit. But I mean, we're what, 9 hours in, it claims 8-hour long wear. The foundation still holds up. My blush and bronzer is still on. My highlight is still on. My eye makeup's looking a little bit haggard, but that's okay. So I think the foundation does a really nice job. I love the finish of it. I love how it wore throughout the day. Yeah, you might have to touch up with some powder, but it's not breaking up, which is something that I really look for. I'm not really too worried. If I get a little shiny, it's kind of inevitable with my T-zone, especially as we get into the summer. If I can just touch up or blot in the T-zone, I'm fine. Is when foundation starts to separate or break up, or you go and check the mirror and it doesn't look like you're wearing any makeup around your nose or around your mouth, around your forehead or your chin. So I love that I can still see my blush and bronzer. My makeup is still on. It is a little dewy, but it's not worn off or separated, or, you know, my skin hasn't completely broke through and like eaten all my foundation, essentially. If I were to pick between the Buxom one and the Bare Minerals Bare Skin, I would definitely go with the Buxom one. I felt that lasted much better on the skin. This one wore off throughout, you know, towards the end of the day, where this one is still there, just a little shiny. I don't know if you can really compare the two, but since the most recent foundation review that I've done is the Bare Minerals Bare Skin, I think if you were, you know, torn between the two, between a Buxom one or the Bare Minerals one, as far as like a light, airy foundation, I would definitely pick this Buxom one over the Bare Skin. Even though I do like this, I just think I like this one better because the makeup stays on my face longer. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and let me know if you've tried this foundation, what you think, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!